Why? Hello and welcome everybody. So today I wanted to go ahead and kind of talk about the league mechanic, more specifically crafting gear for your build, or in this instance, your Righteous Fire character. Now, this is going to primarily be designed more for endgame, I would say, so I'm like level 93, and we're going to primarily focus on this section up here. That's going to be like this kind of upper left quadrant. This is because this is where most of the actual gear crafting is. This one over here is unique items, this is currency, this is mysterious, and these are the graphs, the ones you equip by your character. Now, let's talk about this here, as this will help players in Trade League, this will also help players in SSF, but more importantly, it's just a fun thing to do as well. Now, this is completely respecable, so you can just move points around however you'd like, and I want to talk about the philosophy of what I'm doing. Now, before we actually talk about it, I just want to go ahead and explain really fast what I'm actually going to go ahead and do. So, we are going to go ahead and try really fast to craft gloves, ideally with like life regenerate, life, and chaos res. That's kind of what we're aiming for, right? Those are kind of like the affixes that I want. So something with life regenerate, something with chaos res. So, let's see if it works. We're going to click. Now, by doing this, you can see up at the top it says requires X amount of graph blood. That graph blood is acquired when you're doing any of the breach events, whether you're doing the defense one, the one where you kill mobs, or the big fortress, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and click this, and we're going to click it. We're also looking for armor bases. So here we have Vol Gauntlets. Looks like we got Fractured Life Regenerate, which is actually crazy. That is a tier 1 roll on a Fractured Affix. That's one of my favorite ones to craft with. So that is actually, I could craft that all the way and that's done. But let's keep going because I want to try to print an actual item as well. So down over here we have, that's not really very good. That's a body armor. We're not looking at that. So we're just going to go ahead and go again. So let's click and go.
Just like that.
Okay, so here we have 4 gloves that dropped. Okay, we don't care about those. So here we have 35 chaos res with 42 life regen per second. That is pretty decent, but I want better. These rolled 19% life regenerate, 48 lightning res, and 56 life regen. These top ones actually happen to fracture a tier 1 dexterity roll, which is actually pretty cool. Didn't hit the chaos res, but it did hit the big life. And then up at the top, these Leviathan gauntlets, look at that. They fractured 21% life regenerate. That is actually as perfect as it gets on, I think, the best base, so you can't get any better than that. But we're not done. Let's keep going. So let's print it again. Click. Okay, so there we got a royal plate that we're not really looking for that, but that's sure. Looks like we got Titan gauntlets over here. These are pretty good. These ones have 111 life with 20% life regenerate. Really fast, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to reset the instance so I can get even luckier, and so it clears the loot off the screen. So let's just click. For reference, I just recently did a fortress. I got close to about 4,000 graph blood from doing a single fortress, so this is very achievable for me. Okay, so we got 3 pairs of gauntlets here. This one happened to hit life regen. It does have, I think that's a hybrid life roll. We got a hybrid life roll, yep. With the chaos res we were looking for. This one is just a double regen, and that's a double regen. So we did finally get the one we were looking for, although the other ones are very nice as well. So this one happens to have close to 100 life with the life regen roll and the chaos resistance. Now let's go ahead and actually talk about the process of crafting it. Now you can use this process and kind of mix it around based off of the pieces of gear you want, but you will have to modify your tree. So let's start from the beginning. I can't tell you the best way to progress as a brand new player. I kind of just speed through a lot of the early game content and gamble my gear with Faustus, and then as I'm achieving end game, I decided to kind of pivot more into this style. So here we go. Birth equipment rolls sockets and links 10 times. 400% chance for birth equipment to be armor. I haven't found the weapon crafting to be very ideal for me as an RF build. On the right here, I've chose gloves because that's what I want to aim for. Obviously, if you want a different piece, you know, boots, body armor, helmet, shield. Boots and body armor have a little bit extra nuance to them. For example, if you're going to do body armor, it would be advantageous for you to take this node to reroll the sockets, because maybe you can get lucky and get like a 6-link. If you're doing boots, it would be advantageous for you to change, there's one right here. It would be advantageous to get this modifier for giga speed. But let's keep going down the list here. So over here, +1 item level. Over here, modifier tier rating. Modifier tier rating essentially is how high the affix is. So tier 1 is the best. So that's how we're getting these tier 1 affixes, right? I chose not to take anything here because these are just like reduced chance at mods at the moment, and that I don't think that mattered too much. As an RF build, if we roll lightning res or cold res, we can just turn it into fire res with harvest. Over here, it's just basically like re-rolling the equipment additional time for the best outcome. So that means, like, say you got 10 dexterity, like say you got like 10 dexterity and 15 dexterity, you would take the 15 dexterity. Why? That's kind of just how it goes, right? Or maybe with different affixes, it would take the higher one. This one is just reduced chance at attack modifiers because I don't want those like flat physical or elemental mods in the prefix for the gloves. Over here, we have the chance at fractured. The fractured is this modifier here that you see on the gloves, that like yellow line. That means it will never go away no matter what you do. So if I come over here and I scour it, you can see that that life regenerate stays and does not go away. Over here, chance at additional equipment, reduced chance at defense mods. Defense mods would fill up the prefixes, which would make it less likely for me to get the life rolls. That's the reason why I chose to take that. Over here, I have kind of forced it to be armor-based by taking less intelligence, less dexterity, and then more strength. And that's how you can see these are pretty much all armor bases. Over here, we just have additional equipment. This over here would be like quiver, jewelry, and then you have like amulet, rings, and belts. But that's not what we're doing right now, right? This showcase was for the gloves. Then over here, birth equipment has the lowest level modifier removed. I don't know how beneficial this is. I figured this would be nice because I could just craft the extra affix. But then again, a lot of the time I'm hitting really high tier affixes anyway. Like these are pretty much all tier 1s and tier 2s. So maybe I should actually remove this, I'm not sure. Over here, we have the modifier tier rating we explained before. This has giga chance at chaos res, and that's how I'm essentially targeting the chaos resistance. Over here, we just have rolling in additional time, keeping the best outcome. Over here, we have the additional equipment, and then we have increased chance at life modifiers. Now remember, this is completely free, so you're free to spec around however you want with whatever it is that you want. So really play around with the system and see what it is that you want. Anyway, I'm going to catch you guys later. Hope you guys had a wonderful time. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. If you enjoyed the video or it helped you craft your gear, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I'll catch you guys later at twitch.tv/Pohx. Take care and have a wonderful time, everybody.